From Caniac Park in Hicksville, LI Sports Network presents boys lacrosse tonight, Half Hollow Hills and Long Island Lutheran. Well, good evening, everyone. I'm Peter Schwartz. A rainy night here on Long Island, and we are at Caniac Park. As I mentioned, the elements certainly to play a factor here tonight with the rain coming down, and Long Island Lutheran set to take on Half Hollow Hills. LuHi comes in with a record of 9-5, and they are coming off a 16-0 win against Kennedy Catholic on Wednesday. And prior to that, they had a huge win over the number one seed, Hackley. So LuHi on a roll coming into this one here tonight against a Half Hollow Hills team that's 8-5 overall, 7-5 in Suffolk County Conference 1. Their head coach, Connor Hagens, telling me earlier this week, first year as a combined program as they combined the Hills East and West programs. And they are having a fine season at 8-5, and we'll pay attention to a couple of key players for them. In the midfield, A.J. Nambiar has 17 goals, and he is one of their captains. Santino Rizito has 23 goals, 9 assists for 32 points. And their leading scorer is Andrew Cosentino with 18 goals, 20 assists, and 38 points. For the home team, LuHi, they are angling towards the postseason. Rocco Sergio coming off of a shutout against Kennedy Catholic and having a great season. A 3-year captain, a 4-year starter, 154 saves on the season. So we'll pay close attention to him tonight. And of course, Matt Caputo having an outstanding season. The senior going to Ohio State. 50 goals, 36 assists, 86 points, a 2-year captain. And he'll be very, very active tonight. Charlie Caputo with 27 goals, 10 assists, 37 points coming into this one. Couple of players that you will not see for LuHi here tonight. Danny Rudy was supposed to start on attack, but he has a high fever, and he is not participating in this game tonight. And also, Caleb Mann has a shoulder injury, so he will not take part. We're getting ready for the opening face-off. It's Nico Gikas for Half Hollow Hills, and it's Jack Montagano for LuHi. And we are underway. LuHi in their home black uniforms. Correction, that's Half Hollow Hills with the ball first in the visiting black, and LuHi in their home white. Ball is played in behind the goal. First possession of the game, the Half Hollow Hills, and they will retain possession. Rocco Sergio between the pipes for LuHi. Here's A.J. Nambiar with the ball for Hills, and they get it down low, and there's a shot that goes wide of the mark. It'll stay with Half Hollow Hills. Rayo with the shot down low. Rain continuing to come down as it has been most of today. There's a pass that Rizito brings down, and we've got Half Hollow Hills with their opening possession of the game. Nambiar throws it in behind the goal. Rotondo on the side of the net gets it out in front, and the ball makes its way to Sergio, and it will be LuHi with the ball. Difficult circumstances here with the weather. We've got the one camera for you here tonight, so please bear with us as we try to get through this broadcast this evening in inclement weather. Ball played to the far side, and that's Rayo who tracked it down. And there's a shot and a score. A.J. Nambiar with his 18th goal of the season, and Half Hollow Hills jumps out on top with the opening goal of the game. We're going to take a look at it again. Nambiar with that bounce shot that beats Sergio. And it's 1-0 Half Hollow Hill. So 1-0 for the visitors. And again, it's Chicas and Montagano on the draw at the dot. And it's Chicas winning the draw for Hills. And here they come with a 1-0 lead. Rotondo took a whack. Now here's Nambiar, the goal scorer, to the far side. We expect this to be a steady rain throughout. Side of the goal for Rotondo. If you're hearing a lot of whistles, it's not necessarily from this particular game. There are other games going on here at the Caniac Park Sports Complex. There's a game on the adjacent field, another high school lacrosse game. So you may hear whistles that have absolutely nothing to do with this game. So we will apologize to you in advance for that. Nambiar. And Nambiar moves in, shoots, and he scores again. A.J. Nambiar has made it 2-0 for Half Hollow Hills. Set to look at it again on the replay. And he was just holding it for quite a long time. Moved in, very, very similar to the last shot. The first goal he scored, although that first shot, the ball bounced a little bit before Sergio. That one bounced maybe alongside of him and got past him. So it's 2-0 Half Hollow Hills. A quick start for Hills here on the road. Off the draw, we've got a violation on Hills, and it'll be LuHi ball. Matt Caputo having a fantastic season. Sam Stewart is on the left side, number 12. Gets it back. Stewart moves in. Gets it in front. A shot, score! Great pass down low. Logan Barbarino, number 3, with his 4th goal of the season. And we're going to take a look at this. Pretty passing here by LuHi. And then you see Stewart getting it over in front. And it's Barbarino, the junior, with his 4th goal of the season. And LuHi on the board, 2-1. Off the draw again, it is Chicas winning it for Hills. And they quickly come down the other way with a 2-1 lead. Rotondo throws one in front. Sergio the save and distributes. And quickly back the other way. Here's Josue Cruz, who took it across the midfield line. Throws it in deep, and now LuHi will get their changes up. Caputo threw it in front, was looking for Barbarino again. And it's Hills back the other way. Jason Bush ran it across the midfield line. And now it's Rotondo. Down low to Rayo on the side of the net, back up to Rotondo. Turf field here at Caniac Park, so while the rain will play a factor, Certainly no muddy conditions with the turf field. Joseph Velarde, the long stick midfielder, is out there for Hills. Straight up on top. Loose ball picked up by Caputo, and the Crusaders back the other way. Pass down into the corner, rolling towards the end line, and it'll go out of bounds back over to Hills. 7:09 to go in this first quarter, 2-1 in favor of Hills. And again, talking to Connor Higgins, their head coach, during the week. So this is definitely a program going through some growing pains with the combination of the two programs. It's more of a half-hollow Hills East flavor to the team, but the West players have gotten used to the new coaches, and they went through an extensive summer program. And also in the fall and winter, put together a program to get everybody on the same page, and it's worked out. They're 8-5 and 7-5 in conference. Pass in front, and it's picked up by Josue Cruz for LuHi. Races it up the right side. LuHi looking to find the equalizing goal. Stewart with the ball on the right side. Nick Lindberg out there in the middle, number 33. But here's Caputo with the ball. Here's Caputo back up top to Caputo. LuHi again coming off that 16-0 win over Kennedy Catholic on Wednesday. And that followed the Hackley win, 14-9 on Monday. So this is a LuHi team that's got their eyes on the postseason and getting there perhaps without having to have that play-in game. Here's a pass in front, score! And LuHi has tied it up on the goal by Nick Lindberg. Another great series of passes by the Crusaders. There's Caputo with it, and he gets it nicely in front to Lindberg. And he beats Jacob Shapiro, the goalie for Half Hollow Hills. And we are tied at 2. Jacob Shapiro, the goalie for Hills, we didn't talk about him at the top. 104 saves on the season. Coming in, he's a senior, and he's going off to South Carolina, and he's going to play for that school's club lacrosse program. Two-2 game. Half Hollow Hills jumped out to the 2-0 lead. Now it's 2-2. As LuHi has stormed back with 2 goals of their own. But again, it's Hills winning the faceoff. Streaking down the near side, Cosentino. Ball played in front, and we've got a whistle, and that ball's going to go back over to LuHi. So a tough start for head coach Mike O'Reilly's team, falling down 2-0, but they have come back to tie it at 2. O'Reilly telling me during the week that likes the way his team is playing, feels they could be very dangerous once the playoffs come around. He expects this game tonight to be a nice chess match between him and Connor Higgins. And so far it's been just that, a 2-2 game. Caputo on the left side. Takes it in behind the goal. Velarde was guarding him. Caputo circles around in front. Now into the fires when he scores! Matt Caputo gives LuHi their first lead of the game. A brilliant play. Took it from behind the net out in front. Shielding off Velarde. And fires one up over top of Shapiro. And it's 3-2 LuHi. It was not the best start for the Crusaders, but they have come back strong after falling behind 2-0. It's now 3-2 with just over 4 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Again, we apologize at the top for the elements obviously playing a role, not just in the game, but in the broadcast. We've got the one camera and some limited sound. And you may hear some whistles coming from the other fields. There are other games going on. Here's a shot and a score, and Half Hollow Hills comes right back to tie the game on a goal that was scored by Lucas Martin, a long stick midfielder. Let's take a look at this again. Taking it all the way down and firing one past Sergio to tie this game at 3. Well, Mike O'Reilly thought this was going to be a chess match, and again, it has been every bit of that. But again, there's games going on other fields, so you're going to hear some whistles perhaps from other games, so we apologize for that. But everybody working diligently here in the elements here at Caniac Park. Ball comes back to Shapiro. Outlet pass. Pirano. And right in front of us, the ball comes out of bounds. Matt Caputo retrieving it. Right in front of our eyes. Taking a couple of whacks there. Matt Caputo, a senior, going off to Ohio State this fall. And he is having one heck of a season. Came into the game with 50 goals, 36 assists, 86 points, and prior to Wednesday's game, #1 all Long Island private schools. And as far as all Long Island schools combined, public and private, 2nd in points, 3rd in goals, 6th in assists. So that is one terrific season that Matt Caputo has been having for LuHi. Half Hollow Hills with the ball in a game that is tied at 3. Anthony Rayo throws it off to the far side. Rayo gets it back up top. And a Rosito. Ball played in front for Filardi. Knocked away, out of bounds. And you see that was a shot. And Hills will keep it. Here's Nambiar. Nambiar with the 2 goals, first 2 goals of the game for Hills. Ball played in front for Rosito. And he'll just bring it back. Rosito now to the left. Ball back up top. Nambiar spinning through. Fires one off the goal post and bounces all the way back out towards midfield. The Hills will keep it. He rung it right off the goal post. Ball played in front, and it's taken away by LuHi as Will Santella gets it to Sergio. Will Santella having another solid season on the back line for LuHi. A senior going to Palm Beach Atlantic University. And we've got a whistle, and we've got a timeout called by LuHi. So 1:37 to go in the first quarter. And we are tied at 3. We'll be back. You're watching LuHi at Half Hollow Hills on the LI Sports Network. Back at Caniac Park, Peter Schwartz with you. A few moments ago, we saw that shot ring off the goalpost by Nambiar. Here's a look at that again. And we were just so close to Hills taking the lead. There you see it ringing right off the bar, right off the post. So 1:37 to go in the first quarter. We're tied at 3. And after the timeout, LuHi will put it into play. And again, we have the officials talking this over. Now here we go. We're back underway. LuHi with the ball in a 3-3 game. Here's Caputo. Stewart throws it behind the net to Caputo. Caputo up high. He missed the open. Again, Danny Rooney out with a high fever. And again, Caleb Mann out with that shoulder injury. So a bit short-handed LuHi here tonight for this game against Hills. Stewart holding it up top. Here's Caputo. Takes it back outside, now throws it down low. Caputo back up high. Logan Barbarino's on the left side. He's got the ball now. Barbarino's got a goal in the game. Now Caputo in his office trying to make something happen. Nick Lindberg. And the ball played behind the goal. It's going to go out of bounds and a turnover, and it's going to go back over to Half Hollow Hills. 23 seconds to go in this opening quarter in a game that is tied at 3. Racing down the field is Cosentino. Cosentino is in front. There's a backhanded shot. I think Sergio got a piece of it and went out of bounds. It was Luke Bradley who got that shot away with the backhand for Hills, and they'll retain possession with 5 seconds to go in the quarter. Ball played out in front, shot, score! And Hills grabs the 4-3 lead, and we're going to look at it again on the replay with just seconds to go. And it looked like that was Anthony Rayo, number 9, who scores that goal for Hills. 2 seconds to go in the first quarter and a 4-3 lead for Hills here on the road at Caniac Park against LuHi. Face-off held up. Sam Stewart racing back on the field, and that'll do it. And we've reached the end of the first quarter here at Caniac Park, and the score after the first 12 minutes. It is Half Hollow Hills 4 and LuHi 3 on the LI Sports Network. Peter Schwartz back with you from Keniak Park in Hicksville. We head to the second quarter. LuHi trailing Hills by a score of 4-3 as Hills scored the go-ahead goal with just 2 seconds to go in that first quarter. A back and forth affair. Hills jumping out to the 2-0 lead. And then LuHi coming straight back to go up 3-2. And now it's Hills on top by a score of 4-3. Face off to start the second quarter. They switch sides. Sergio in goal to our left for LuHi. And it's Jacob Shapiro in goal to our right for Hills. And again, the elements not ideal here at Keniak Park. We are outside in the elements, but tremendous job by our leader, Michael Brown, coming up with the tent, keeping us as dry as possible. Michael Calandra is getting soaked, running the camera outside. And we start the second quarter. And it's goal for LuHi. They strike quickly to tie the game, and it's Charlie Caputo, the 8th grader, with his 28th goal of the season. And we'll look at it again, the equalizing goal. Charlie picking up that loose ball and getting it right past Shapiro to tie this game at 4. Vinny Matula is running the show for us here tonight as well, here in our makeshift press box, and he's doing a heck of a job in the elements. But again, Michael Calandra outside, and we're gonna take you inside what we're doing a little bit later on in the broadcast, because this was yeoman's work by a lot of people to get this underway. In fact, we've got a timeout on the field, 11:34 to go in the second quarter. We're tied at 4, and we'll hold it right here. So just to give you an indication, normally our home games here for LuHi, we're outside at a table, and obviously with no press box here, we're really limited. And there's Michael Calandra up top.
A 16-0 win
with the camera.
Kennedy.
And he's getting soaked. He's getting soaked. There's no question about it. And he'll need some soup probably when he gets home. And I want to show you what we're up against here, which is not nearly as bad as what Michael Calandra is dealing with outside. But we are as warm as possible here. There's me, there's Vinny. I'm getting a little wet when I duck my head underneath us to kind of see who's got it on the far side. It is just started. Let's see if we get a shot, Michael, if we can. And I know we're asking a lot of you tonight out there in the elements, but it is starting to pour here again at Keniak Park. And this is probably the heaviest that I have seen it rain all day. It is really coming down now. Before this game, I was at my son's high school game, and it was coming down pretty good at that point. But this is the heaviest I've seen it rain all day today. And for those of you who are planning on coming to the game here tonight, that have chosen to stay home in your warm homes to watch us on the LI Sports Network, you probably made the right decision, because it is nasty here now. But the game is tied at 4. It's a good game, so sit back, enjoy, put some coffee up, fire up the indoor grill if you got it, just stay warm. And enjoy Hills and LuHi here on the LI Sports Network. Ryan Bamasinski's out there, number 5 for LuHi. This is Nick Lindberg, who took it around the net. Here's Caputo. Caputo rolls behind the net. Now to Caputo. Ball chopped away from him. Still loose on the far side. And it's still going to be LuHi ball. In front, there's a shot save by Shapiro. They were looking for Caputo. Got the shot away, but Shapiro made the save. And the game remains tied at 4. Hills down low, and the shot was taken there by Nambiar. That whistled wide of the mark. And they were going to call that a pass, not a shot. So LuHi gets the ball back in a 4-4 game. Racing down the field on the near side, John Vigiani. And Vigiani will run off.
Have some fun, Nick.
And Nick Lindberg comes back on for LuHi in this 4-4 game.
Let's go, Ryan.
Bamasinski is behind the net, takes a whack, cradles it, gets it out in front, throws it in front. He's trying to hit Caputo, but the ball rolls to the far side and out of bounds and back over to Half Hollow Hills. Long pass down the field to Filardi. He is a freshman. Had a goal this season against Huntington in their last game. 3 goals, 5 assists, 8 points on the season. And now Hills works it around. Ryan Chung is out there, number 32 as well. A.J. Nambiar. Up top now again to Chung. And Anthony Rayo, number 9, has a goal tonight. Nambiar throws it right side to Rayo. Rayo is pushed out by Josue Cruz. And Nambiar again moving in. Throws it down low in behind the goal to Bruno. Now Rayo up top. Very good passing here by Hills. Very patient, Nambiar. Now gets it off to the side for Rayo. Rayo spins to the top. Throws it back down low. Back up top now to Rayo. Coming up on 8 minutes to go. Oh, a crunching hit as Chung is knocked to the ground. And it's LuHi throwing it back to the other way. Loose ball. And let's see, it is picked up by Half Hollow Hills. And a nice play there by Lucas Martin to retrieve it and get it back. And here's a shot in front by Nambiar and a save by Sergio. And we've got a whistle and a flag is down. And this looks to be on LuHi. And going off for LuHi is Ethan Bramoff. I think they got him on a slash. Rocco Sergio, the goalie for LuHi, is coming off of a big shutout, 16-0 at Kennedy Catholic, and his father, Bill Sergio, came over to say hello before the game, told me a great story. That shutout cost him a steak dinner, because every time Rocco pitches a shutout for LuHi, it costs Bill, being the good dad that he is, it cost him a steak dinner. But here was the twist in the game the other day. It was getting down towards the latter part of the game, and head coach Mike O'Reilly decided to pull Rocco Sergio from the game. Went to the other coach, explained why he was doing it, wanted to make sure he got his goalie a steak dinner. So he got the shutout, even though he didn't play the whole game, but it counted, and he got the steak dinner. And there's a shot that goes wide of the mark. So I imagine Bill Sergio would like head coach Mike O'Reilly to contribute to that steak dinner, since he pulled him out of the game a little bit early. But all in good fun, and Rocco is going off to the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy in the fall after an outstanding career at LuHi. And we hope that steak dinner was good. In fact, it's making me hungry talking about it. Here come the Crusaders down the other way. They score! Sam Stewart gets the pass down low, and LuHi retakes the lead 5-4. Quickly down the middle, and you see the pass to a wide open Stewart. Quickly gets the shot past the goaltender Shapiro to make it 5-4 LuHi. And folks, let me tell you, if I told you before that it was raining harder, I think it's starting to pick up a little bit more. It is really coming down here at Caniac Park. Face-off win for Montagano. The ball is retrieved by Shapiro for Hills. The ball's played all the way downfield, but now LuHi comes up with the loose ball, and they'll race across midfield back the other way. Ryan Bamasinski with the ball on the right side, and we've got a flag down. I think Bamasinski got hit in the head. Let's see if we can take a look at that last sequence. That's right after the play. But Bamasinski was kind of rubbing his head, and I'm wondering if he didn't take a shot to the head from somebody's stick on Half Hollow Hills. But there's a great shot from Michael Calandra at the lights and the rain coming down. Great work there. And if you're watching at home and you were supposed to be here, that's what you're missing. It's only water. So man-up situation here for LuHi. Up top, Lindbergh. Stewart gets over to Caputo, now back to Stewart. Lindbergh up top. Now here's Caputo. And they just work it around. Side of the net. Bamasinski now up top, and a shot whistles wide. But Caputo is there, closer to the ball, and it'll stay with LuHi. There's Lindbergh moving in. Now a shot by Bamasinski is wide of the mark. But it's going to stay with the Crusaders.
Let's go, boys!
Lindbergh behind the goal. Up top here, Stewart has the go-ahead goal. Stewart moving in. Looking for Caputo on the near side. Misfires on the pass. Vinny was just checking on Michael outside. Is he okay? Just want to make sure he's all right. Okay, good. We're trying to be a little loose with the broadcast tonight, folks. I mean, it's what we're dealing with here at Caniac Park out in the elements. Hills back the other way, and Rayo takes it down the left side. Ball on the ground. And they fight for it. Big battle here for the loose ball, and we've got a whistle. And we've got a violation on LuHi, and it's going to go back over. Oh, no, excuse me, on Hills. It's going to go back over to LuHi. Oh, I stand corrected. Hills has the ball. I don't know what that whistle was for. I could not hear the official from this side of the field. Here's Rizito. And Andrew Cosentino. A junior that's going to Towson. Nambiar takes a bump. And the ball comes loose back over to LuHi. And now it's Hills with the ball once again as Shapiro came away with it. It's Rizito up top for Filardi. pass to the near side is going to go out of bounds. So LuHi with the ball and the 5-4 lead, and another long pass that doesn't connect, another turnover. And this, we're going to probably see a lot of this throughout the remainder of this game. It's just very, very difficult conditions, even on the turf, for these two teams in the rain. There's a crunching hit as Josue Cruz came in and laid the lumber. And that's going to bring us to a timeout with 3:38 to go in the second quarter, and LuHi with a 5-4 lead. Let's see if we can just, again, give everybody at home a little sense of the elements here. There's us from before the game in the booth. It's a makeshift little press box that Michael Brown put together, and there's Michael setting the camera up. And that picture does not at all indicate what he is going through right now outside, bringing you the live picture of our game. And there's Michael's work, and that is what he is standing out doing. And that is those are the conditions here at Caniac Park on the turf field. Just not a good night. And the weather has wreaked havoc with the New York sports scene here today. So the Yankee game in the Bronx was rained out. The Mets game in Philadelphia was rained out. That's our booth. We're underneath that tent. That is our tent. Vinny and I are reasonably dry in that tent. Michael, go back to the tent for a second. I'm going to stick my hand out and wave to everybody. Can you see me? Can they see my hand? There it is. There's my hand. We're underneath that tent. Great job, Michael. And you know what? Rocco Sergio got a steak dinner from his dad. I think maybe Michael owes you a steak dinner for this. Of course, I just got myself in trouble for saying that on the air. I'm sure I'll get a text from Michael, who's on his way home or off to another game somewhere. But a great job by everybody, the entire staff. And again, it takes an army to put these games together for the broadcasts. And when you have a situation like this here tonight, it just goes to show how hard everybody works to make sure there's still a show to put on. And the players and the coaches and the officials are on the field dealing with this as well. They're actually doing the hard part. They're playing in the game. Hills down 5-4 with the ball. Anthony Rayo throws it in to the left side for Nambiar. And Nambiar goes to the far side for Zach Marco, a freshman. First time we're calling his name here tonight. He's got one goal on the season. Up top, Nambiar sliding down the slot. Takes a big hit. Ball pops loose. And it's kicked out towards the middle of the field. And it's LuHi coming away with it. Racing down the near side was Ethan Braumoff. But now it's Hills taking it back. Big hitting. Flag comes in. And it's going to be a man-up situation for Hills. And let's see who they call on that play. Caputo was in there. Braumoff too. Let's see who is called for the foul. Caputo is off on the bench. Let's see who's going to the box. Is that Caputo that's taking a knee? It is Caputo. So Caputo was called for the penalty. And LuHi is going to be man down here. Hills with a chance to tie the game with a man-up goal. They got Ryan Chung out there up top. Now Chung moved down the slide a little bit as the ball is passed around. Here's Rosito. Rizito throws it side of the goal. Down low, Cosentino. And he is hitting. Multiple flags come in here. And it'll be another penalty coming up here on LuHi. And it was a good pass to Cosentino down low. And the flags came in as he was hit. Let's see who's going off now. Looks like that might have been, let's see, it's Vigiani, number 4. No, Vigiani's coming on. There's Robbie Barrera, number 1. It's going to take a knee in the penalty area. Barrera, a senior, going to St. John's. And he was called for that last foul. 1:50 to go, second quarter, 5-4, LuHi in a back-and-forth affair. And now Hill's trying to get the equalizer. Chung up top. Rayo. Feed in front. Sergio makes the save. Sergio with the save off of Nambiar's shot. And it's LuHi back the other way. Ethan Bramboff took it across the midfield line. And let's see, we've got another whistle.
Way to go, Ethan!
And I think that's another penalty in this game. And I think that one's going to go against Half Hollow Hills. So it'll be a man-up situation here for LuHi as they look to increase their lead just before halftime. It's currently 5-4. See, now Michael's just showing off. See, now he's getting these rain he's getting these rain shots just to prove a point, right, Michael? Nod the camera in yes. That means like nod the camera up and down that you agree with me. Good job, Michael.
Let's go, boys! Come on now!
So man-up situation here for LuHi with 1:20 to go and a chance maybe to get a 2-goal lead. I can't imagine we're going to have as normal of a halftime as we would under the circumstances. I'm sure the officials are going to want to get right back to the third quarter. So it'll probably be a minimal halftime. Shot goes wide the mark. And chasing it down was Bamasinski. Throws it in behind the goal. Lindbergh comes out in front. Bounce shot. And it's a save by Shapiro. And Hills has the ball now with under a minute to go in the first half. And here's a loose ball again. And it's LuHi back the other way. Caputo on the far side. And let's see, I think LuHi no, they did not call a timeout. They're just slowing it down. Caputo throws it over to the far side. Down low, shot wide of the mark, comes near side, race for the ball. Sam Stewart picks it up. Great hustle there by Stewart to pick up that ball, takes it behind the goal. Now Bamasinski will hold it on the near side. 5 seconds to go. Stewart has it behind the goal, and what they did there was they just held on to it so that they can start the third quarter with the man-up situation and have no face-off. So that's what they did there. So we have reached the half, and the score at halftime, LuHi 5, Half Hollow Hills 4. We'll be back with the second half. You're watching Boys Lacrosse on LI Sports Network. Peter Schwartz back with you at a very, very rainy Cantiac Park in Hicksville. We're set for the start of the third quarter in what I wouldn't call it a monsoon just yet, but it is raining very, very hard. It's rained very, very hard. Probably from near the end of the first quarter through now is the hardest that I've seen it rain all day, and it's really, really coming down now as the halftime clock is down to 0, and we are set for the third quarter. LuHi will take a 5-4 lead over Hills into the second half, and again, we thank you for your patience and your understanding with the conditions here tonight. We've got the one camera, we've got the limited audio of the natural sounds of the game. It's just my headset. So, and you might hear again earlier if you heard whistles. I don't know if that high school lacrosse game that was on the other field, as that game is over. That game is over. So you won't hear whistles from back there anymore. But we appreciate your understanding, and obviously we're doing the best we can to bring you this game tonight here from Cantiac Park. And for those of you, again, who were supposed to be here and come out and see the game, you made the right choice to stay at home in your warm homes and enjoy the game on television. So we're underway, man-up situation, no face-off to start the third quarter. LuHi in the man-up situation. They've got the 1-goal lead, looking to add to that. Caputo on the far side as LuHi goes from right to left here in the third quarter. Crusaders with that lead. There's a shot that goes wide of the mark. It'll stay with LuHi. That was Lindbergh who fired the shot. In front, shot, score! And let's see, they're going to call him in the crease. Crease violation. Let's take a look at that again. And there you see him in the crease, so no goal. Hills now looking for the equalizer. And there's a shot, score, and the game is tied. So just like that, a disallowed goal on one end, and Gianni Rotondo scores to tie the game for LuHi right back at the other end. Gets a return pass right down the slot, beats Sergio, and we are tied at 5. And all things considered, with the conditions and what everybody's had to deal with, we have had one heck of a game here tonight, a 5-5 game with 11:03 now to go in the third quarter. This is Ethan Bramoff, the long stick midfielder, is taking the face-off for LuHi, and not Jack Montagano. They'll have to keep an eye on the bench. I don't know if Montagano is hurt or they're just trying something different. LuHi wins the draw. Hills wins the draw. They come down. And now it is quickly LuHi back the other way with numbers. And the ball goes out of bounds. And we've got it was a goal. It was a goal. It was a long shot from the outside. Let's see. I saw the player running behind the goal. I thought maybe it went out of bounds, but it is a goal. And I have to apologize. It was Caputo who shot it, so it is Matt Caputo. And a 6-5 lead for LuHi. So, my apologies on that, but we did have a goal for LuHi. Matt Caputo scores again. 6-5 for the Crusaders. Loose ball, middle of the field, goes to the far side, and the Crusaders come away with it once again with Lindbergh to Stewart across midfield. Stewart down the left side. Now Stewart will just slow it down. Less than 10 minutes to go. The Ganiac Park just turned off some of the lights behind us. Got a little darker in here. I think the field behind us where they had the other game, I think they turned the lights out, just seemingly got a little dark. Here's a shot right in front and a save by Shapiro. Looked like that was Caputo right in front. That was robbed. Probably there might have been Ryan Bamasinski, number 5, that had the shot right in front. And Hills back the other way with Rayo. A 6-5 lead for LuHi. Rayo, straight up. Far side to Nambiar. Now in behind the goal, ball is shaken loose, and Sergio's got it. To the near side, Stewart across midfield. Pushed out towards the sideline, stays in bounds. It was Rayo who tried to push him out. Now Caputo on the far side. Caputo just scored the last goal for LuHi. Comes down, scores again! Matt Caputo on fire here tonight with 3. And let's take a look at that again. Just great moves by Caputo. Took a hit there, made his way closer to the goal, spun around, and fires one into the net to make it 7-5. And that is the first time either team has had a 2-goal lead since Hills scored the first 2 goals of the game to make it 2-0.
Come on, Sherlock.
And again, Bramoff is going to take the face-off here. In a perfect world, we'd be able to dispatch somebody over to the bench to see if Montagano is hurt. And if we can get word, we'll find out. It's a shot from in front that was knocked down. Sergio's got it, distributes down the near side. That was a shot by Filardi. Near side right in front of us there. Great shot by Michael from up top. And again, here's Filardi for Hills. Takes it in behind the goal, spins towards the front, takes a bump, goes down, and it's going to be a foul on Hills. We might have had a pick call there, but we're going to have a timeout with 7:51 to go in the third quarter. LuHi 7, Hills 5 on the LI Sports Network. Back at Ganiac Park in Hicksville, and there you see the elements again. Michael Calandro with the wonderful camera work, and he is out there. He is like the players, like the coaches. There he is. There's a shot from earlier in the game. Yeoman's work. Yeoman's work. We're nice and, I wouldn't say we're toasty, Vinny and I in here, but we're definitely a lot drier than Michael. And we're back underway in this third quarter with LuHi up 7-5. Cosentino in behind the goal, comes out to the side. Now goes back up top to Filardi. Hills uses Filardi a lot, a long stick midfielder up top in an offensive role here. Here's Rosito. Plays it in behind the goal, up top. Oh, and there's the pass that goes over Rayo's head. It's going to come to the near side out of bounds, and a turnover and back over to LuHi. So LuHi has scored the last two to go up 7-5. And Caputo's got it. Too wet for me to keep score here tonight, and by my recollection, he's got 3. Caputo does. Vinny agrees with me. Here's Stewart down the right side. I know he's got at least 1. I remember 1. Caputo. Now to Caputo on the left side. In behind the goal, and there's a pass that goes over the back line, and it'll be back over to Half Hollow Hills. And a lot of what you're seeing here tonight, I mean, you're seeing some, electrifying play and solid play, but just the nature of the conditions will see you have, unforced errors like that one. It's just going to happen. As good a player as you can be, as good of a team as you have, it sounds like a built-in excuse, but trust me, I mean, this is not easy to play in. LuHi down by 2, less than 6 minutes to go in the third. Cosentino looking for some room. In front, shot and a save by Sergio. That was Filardi who took that shot. Hills gets it back. Down the middle, shot goes wide. And Sergio got his stick, but let's see, they're going to give it to Hills. It was Rosito who took that shot that went wide. Here's a shot, score! A shot by Gianni Rotondo, his second of the game. And Hills is within 1. Look at that jump shot. Bounces it past Sergio. And we've got a 1-goal game, 7-6. I'm going to take a look to my left. I will brave the elements for just a moment. And we've got a couple of hardy souls that are watching the game here. Just a couple. There's some on the far side. It looks like there's some umbrellas out in the bleachers on the other side of the field. And if you're sitting out in this, you're a big lacrosse fan, you're a parent or a family member who loves your kid who's playing in the game. But this would be a tough watch as a spectator. There's a ball that bounces and knocked away, and it's LuHi that comes away with it. And here comes Will Santella, who took it across the midfield line. And now LuHi will stop. And there was a game that my older son played, a peewee football game a few years ago. More than a few years ago, but it was pouring. So that was tough that day. So I can understand what some of the people here are going through. I remember sitting out at a couple of Jets games when I had season tickets in some just horrible, horrible downpours. I feel for the people, especially Michael, because he's working. He's contractually obligated to be here. This is tough conditions. Hills now looking for the equalizing goal. Coming up on 4 minutes to go in the quarter. 7-6, LuHi. Nambiar, who scored the first 2 goals of the game for Hills. Rosito, Cosentino behind the goal. Here's Nambiar. Rosito. High slot, coming down low, fires one, wide of the mark. That's going to stay with Hills. Cosentino will put it into play. Up top, Nambiar. Nambiar took a bump from Bramoff. Josue forced that errant pass, but it's still Hill's ball with 3:20 to go in the quarter. Oh, there's a nice hit in front to prevent that scoring chance. And Chung had to take it back out. Thought he might have a chance to shoot, but he was knocked off the play. There's a shot, score! Chung does get the goal. He couldn't get the shot off a few seconds ago, but he found himself open and fired one past Sergio to tie this game at 7. Great effort there by Ryan Chung, a freshman who has scored to tie this game. Back-to-back goals for Hills. And with 3:08 to go in the quarter, in the third quarter, we are tied at 7 on the LI Sports Network. Peter Schwartz back at rainy Cantiac Park in Hicksville. The game tied at 7, Hills and LuHi. And while we were in the break, there is LuHi head coach Mike O'Reilly having some words with his team. Just a few moments ago, they were up 7-5, and now the game is tied at 7, and he was being very emphatic with his Crusaders on the sideline during that timeout. He has done a great job with this LuHi program, and he loves each and every one of his players. You talk to anybody around the program, and they will tell you how deeply he cares about his players, and he will stop at no end in helping his players out in any way that he can. I think the wind is now picking up here at Cantiac Park. The rain has been steady since near the end of the first quarter. And now off the restart, LuHi gets the ball. Up top, Stewart. Inside of 3 minutes to go in a 7-7 game, third quarter. Caputo throws it down low. Barbarino heads to the front of the net. And there's a shot that goes wide. Perhaps Shapiro might have gotten a piece of it. It'll stay with LuHi. Damasinski behind the goal. Ball's knocked away. And we're going to have a foul on Hills. And I don't know if you could hear it from the other side, but the boos from the Hills fans that are on the other side of the field. And there are a number of them. And did they changed the call. I think they just changed the call and they gave the ball back to Hills. Across the midfield line is Filardi. Filardi has the ball knocked away by Braumoff, and now we're going to have a violation on Hills. One of the officials over on the near side getting a good look at him right now. He's soaked. Oh, these poor officials. And they deserve a lot of the credit as well because, I mean, anybody who follows youth and middle school and high school football on Long Island knows that in the last couple of years, as there's a shot that goes wide of the mark, anybody who follows high school sports, middle school sports, youth sports on Long Island, you know that there has been a shortage of officials over the last couple of years, and some of it is pandemic related, and some of it, to be quite frank, has been parent related and coach related, and there are just a lot of people who either were officials that decided not to do it anymore, or people who just don't want to do it because they don't want to deal with hearing it from coaches and hearing it from parents. But these guys all, and girls, all have very, very difficult jobs to do. And I'm watching the officials here tonight, 3 of them, and I wish I had their names because I would give them even bigger props, but they're out here too in these conditions, and they deserve a lot of credit. Now, of course, if they made a bad call against my own child, I might have a different. I'm just kidding. No, I'm not. A 7-7 game with less than a minute to go in the third quarter. And LuHi with the ball. And there's a shot and a save by Shapiro. And Hills back the other way with 30 seconds to go in the quarter. Can they take the lead here before the end of the third? Cosentino on the right side. The pass is over him and out of bounds. It'll go back over to LuHi. So LuHi will have 19 seconds to try and make something happen here. Long pass by Santella is an errant one as well. And the conditions are going to be a problem if you're trying to make a low-risk pass. But when you're trying to make a high-risk one, you're risking even more than that. Here's a play to the near side towards the goal. It's still loose with a second to go, and we've reached the end of the third quarter. In these conditions, you have to be smart. Unless it's a situation in the game where you have to try and make something happen. But it's a 7-7 game heading to the fourth quarter. LuHi and Half Hollow Hills on the LI Sports Network. Peter Schwartz back at Caniac Park in Hicksville. We head to the fourth quarter. We're tied at 7. And there's a look at Jack Montagano, the faceoff specialist for LuHi. We have not seen him. I don't think we've seen him the entire second half, and certainly going back into the second quarter. Ethan Bramoff has been taking some of the faceoffs, and we don't have any word as to whether or not he's injured. But he was just working on his clamps down there, and he looks to be okay. Maybe it's just that head coach Mike O'Reilly wanted to try something different here tonight at Caniac Park and give his faceoff specialist a bit of a rest. But in any event, 7-7 is the score as we head to the fourth quarter, and it's LuHi with the ball. On the right side is Bamasinski to Caputo. And now the Crusaders go to work here to try and retake the lead. And something else we saw during the timeout was, again, head coach Mike O'Reilly just getting his guys pumped up and fired up. They know they're in a tight matchup here tonight. And here's a shot that goes wide. It's going to go over to Hills. But he was as angry as he was during the last timeout. This was more of an encouraging conversation that he had with his teammates in between the third and fourth quarter. Because this game has been a whole different world than what they experienced on Wednesday when they beat Kennedy Catholic 16-0. This has been a battle from the opening faceoff. And we're tied at 7, a little over a minute into the fourth. And Hills with the ball and the chance to take the lead. It's Ryan Chung. And Hills, as I can recall, has not had the lead since it was 2-0 and then 2-1. But we've never had more than a 2-goal lead for either team. And here's a turnover. And LuHi will have it. Sergio distributing downfield. And here come the Crusaders into the offensive zone. Here's Caputo. Spins back the other way, looking for some room, takes a whack. Goes down, comes back up, lost the ball, still loose on the ground. He bats it over to the far side, but I think we're going to have a foul here, a push on Half Hollow Hills. The ball will stay with the Crusaders. Caputo on the far side. Here's Lindbergh in behind the goal. Now to the side of the net. Up top to Charlie. And now here's Caputo. Matt Caputo racing down the left side. Fires one. He scores! Matt Caputo with a bullet for his fourth goal of the game. And it's an 8-7 lead for LuHi. Watch this. The move that Caputo puts on Michael Perano, number 24, the senior defender for Half Hollow Hills. And really, Perano played him as tough as you can possibly play a star player. And Caputo still was able to get around him and fire one in. We have a conference going on here on the field. The three officials are talking about something. We were looking at the replay, and I was waxing poetic on Matt Caputo, so I don't know what they were discussing. But there's now the official's going to come over to the sideline. That one in there, number 79, and we're going to have a penalty here. It looks like the goal is going to count. The goal is going to count, but we're going to have a foul here. And whatever it was that official said, head coach Mike O'Reilly of LuHi seemed to agree with. Looking on the scoreboard, they still have the 8th goal up there for LuHi, so I don't think they're taking the Caputo is in the box. Now, I'm wondering we'd have to go back and look, but was there some sort of unsportsmanlike conduct maybe after he scored the goal? Let's take a look. Hills is on the man up. We'll get back to that in just a moment. But here's Caputo scoring, and it looks like, does he make a gesture over to somebody? Maybe we'll take a look at that again later on. But back to live action. Hills to the man up situation after the Caputo goal that gives LuHi the 8-7 lead. On the far side is Rizito. Goes in behind the goal. Takes a whack from Santella. And it's Cosentino up top. Down in front, shot, score! And Hills pulls to within a tie game at 8-8. Here we go. Cosentino up top, in front. And the game-tying goal as they fed it to Santino Rizito, the junior, who came into the game with 23 goals on the season. And the game is now tied at 8-8. So we've really had a little bit of everything here tonight. We've had weather situation. We've had a terrific game back and forth. We've had no more than a 2-goal lead for either team. We've had penalties after goals. And we are in for a fantastic conclusion with 8.5 minutes to go. Hills with the ball. Now remember, we talked about this at the top. LuHi playing without a couple of players. Caleb Mann's got a shoulder injury. And Danny Rooney, the 8th grader who had a hat trick against Hackley, he was unable to play today because of a high fever. So it is a short-handed LuHi team. And they have themselves in a battle here with Hills that tied at 8. Here's a shot, score! And Hills takes the lead on the 3rd goal of the game that was scored by Gianni Rotondo. And they've got the 9-8 advantage. Look at this passing. And again, Rotondo fires up that left-handed shot down low, beating the goaltender Sergio. And for the first time since 2-0 and 2-1, Half Hollow Hills has the lead at 9-8. And once again for the face-off, it's Ethan Bramoff and not Jack Montagano. And Bramoff wins that face-off, races down the middle of the field, and LuHi will slow it down. Bramoff will go off, and the Crusaders have it with a chance to tie. Up top, Caputo. Here's Stewart. Gets it back to Matt Caputo. Charlie Capiabato on the left side. Now in behind the goal. Lindbergh takes it back. Up top, Stewart moving in. Spins back. 7:10 left in the 4th quarter. And let's see, we've got a violation on LuHi, and Hills puts it right back into play quickly. Matt Caputo picking something up off the ground. I don't know what that was, but you heard someone tell him to pick it up. So it might have been something that could have been a little dangerous. But here's Hills back the other way with the 9-8 lead. And Anthony Rayo Ball played in behind the goal to James Bruno. Cosentino behind the goal. Rayo. And Filardi is out there as well. Rayo with the ball right now. Right side it goes to Rotondo. Rotondo moving in. Throws it towards the goal. And it's retrieved by LuHi. And let's see, we're going to have a whistle. This looks like a violation coming up here on LuHi. Let's see if it results in a man-up situation. I did not see a flag thrown. Oh, there is a flag. Yes, Vinny, thank you. So a man-up situation coming up here for Hills. They've got the 9-8 lead, and there's 6 minutes, 4 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. Anthony Rayo for Hills. And he gets it back. And they work it around. Cosentino back up top to Rayo. A big possession here in this game. Bruno was behind the goal. And there's a shot from the side of the net, and Sergio made the save. And Sergio is able to distribute to Barrera. And Robbie Barrera takes it across the midfield line, and we've got an offsides call on LuHi. And Matt Caputo can't believe it. Expressing with his hands his disbelief in the call. And it's going to be Hill's ball. Cosentino. Chung is up top. Has the ball now. To Rayo on the left side. 5 minutes to go. A 1-goal lead for Hills. 9-8. Here at Caniac Park, with the rain continuing to come down hard. Here's a pass in front and a hard hit, jars the ball loose. It bounces around, kicked, comes back out in front of the net. What a scrum. And coming away with it was Hills. Cosentino came away with it, but I think we're going to have a foul here on Hills, and it's going to go over to, no, I think Hills called timeout. Hills called timeout. Cosentino retrieved the ball. And Hills, to settle things down, they quickly call the timeout with 4:36 to go in the fourth quarter and a 9-8 lead for Half Hollow Hills. We'll hold it here. Here's a look onto the Hills bench. And they've got the 9-8 lead. And we talked about them a little bit at the top. 8-5 coming into this one, 7-5. In Conference 1 in Suffolk County, and you have to give each and every one of those young men a lot of credit to the coaches as well. They decided, that school district this year, to combine Hills East and Hills West into one lacrosse program. Your numbers were down, and because of that, they combined the two programs into one, and it took a while for that chemistry to get there for them. And they had summer programs and a fall program and a winter program to get all those guys on the same page. And they've had a good season, led by head coach Connor Hagans. And also, his number one assistant, Paul Benway, was the head coach of Hills East. Hagans was the head coach of Hills West. So he winds up getting the job for the overall Hills program. And the other assistant coach, Nils Hogan, has done an outstanding job for them as well. And they've been very impressive to watch here tonight. And they have obviously given LuHi all kinds of fits here tonight. back underway with 4.5 minutes to go. LuHi down by a goal and playing defense right now as Hills looks to get a 2-goal lead. Here's Rotondo. Now the ball goes down low. Back up top to Rayo on the right side. It goes. Hills still working the ball around. Rayo up top. Rayo moves to his right. And now backs it back out. Less than 4 minutes to go. LuHi needs to get that ball back somehow. Pressure from John Vigiani. But Rayo still holds. Throws it down the near side for Bruno and then Cosentino behind the goal. Bruno heads to the front. Cosentino behind the goal. Ball played in front to nobody. Comes back out towards the midfield area. Let's see the fight for it. If they're going to call it an over and back on Hills. And that is the break that LuHi was looking for right there as they get the ball with 3:16 to go in the fourth quarter, down 9-8. And now another conference here coming up with the officials. I can't read lips very well, so all we can do is kind of speculate as to what they're chatting about. But there you see the players on both teams. Oh, they're giving the ball back to Hills. And the LuHi bench, sideline, and spectators not happy with that. And something might have been said on the LuHi bench because I think we're going to have a foul, an infraction on the LuHi bench. You just heard a fan let his feelings known. At least it was clean. Come on, right? It was clean. We could air that. So it's 9-8 for Half Hollow Hills. There's 3:16 to go in the fourth quarter. And Hills, on a controversial decision here by the officials, will have the ball back. And a man-up situation after the call on the LuHi sideline. Well, now a LuHi player coming back out onto the field. Is that Montagano, 14, that just came out and walked off? No. I'm sorry. That was Josue Cruz. And Hills goes to work. Up by a goal. All they need to do is hold on to the ball for 3 minutes and 8 seconds. Let's see when LuHi goes to their serious press here to try and draw that ball loose. Hills in no particular hurry to get a shot. Cosentino on the right side. Ball is jarred loose back behind the goal, rolling towards the end line. And let's see, they give it to LuHi. A turnover for Hills, and LuHi gets the ball back, and a golden opportunity here with 2:45 to go. Racing across the line is Vigiani. John Vigiani down the right side. Takes it into the corner. Now gives to Caputo with 2.5 minutes to go. What a fantastic finish here at Cadillac Park. A 1-goal lead for Hills, but LuHi with the ball trying to get the equalizer and perhaps force overtime. Stewart. And you hear the hollow, half hollow Hills bench and fans yelling defense. And it's Caputo with the ball for the Crusaders. Comes down the right side. Now towards the slot. Goes to the left side. Tries to spin around. A check from Pirano. And we've got a whistle and a timeout called by LuHi with 1:57 to go in the fourth quarter and a 9-8 lead for Hills. And it's interesting when you talk about just holding on to the ball as Hills tried to do a few moments ago. For those of you who follow Stony Brook women's head coach Joe Spallina on social media, a couple of weeks ago, he was very outspoken on Twitter that perhaps the timing is right now for a shot clock in high school lacrosse. There is no shot clock at this moment, so obviously a team can just, there could be a penalty for stalling if the official thinks that you're stalling. But Joe Spallina is not alone in feeling that maybe the time is right for a shot clock in high school lacrosse, because right now, if Hills had the ball, they could just eat up the rest of the clock as long as they show some semblance of trying to score a goal. It's an interesting debate. You can hear both sides of the coin on it. Me personally, I would like to see a shot clock in high school lacrosse. The detractors of that will say, well, go play defense. Go force a loose ball like we just saw LuHi do. I think, though, it might be time for high school to fall in line with college and outdoors in the Premier Lacrosse League and indoor pro lacrosse in the National Lacrosse League. They all have shot clocks. Of course, then you get the school districts might not want it because then there would be the added cost of going out and buying the shot clocks. And that's a whole nother argument when you're dealing with school districts. So here's LuHi with the ball, down by a goal, less than 2 minutes to go. Lindbergh behind the goal. Bamasinski's on the right side, up top to Caputo, back to Bamasinski, behind the net to Lindbergh. Here's Stewart moving in. Right side it goes to Bamasinski. Back to Stewart, now Caputo. 1:25. They're looking for the right shot. Possession so important here as we wind down in a one-goal game. Ball goes to the right side, in behind the goal. Now Caputo on the right side. Caputo looking for some space. Caputo spins away, fires one, and it's a save by Shapiro. And let's see. The ball is going to stay with LuHi. Shapiro made the save. I think he looked behind him. Let's take a look at the replay here. That was a great save. Let's go back to live action. And again, we're under a minute to go here. LuHi down by a goal. Stewart up top. Right side of Caputo. Caputo looking for some room. Bamasinski to Stewart. Bamasinski drops it, gets it back. Now Stewart left side, 30 seconds to go. LuHi needs a goal to tie. Caputo on the right side. Now behind the goal to Lindbergh, back to Caputo. Up top, Bamasinski. Great defensive job by Hill. Shot, score! The game is tied at 9. Let's take a look at this on the replay. It's Sam Stewart with the bullet that gets past Shapiro to tie this game at 9 with 26 seconds to go. 9-9 is the score in what has been a fantastic high school lacrosse game here on Long Island at Caniac Park in adverse weather conditions, and we have had an absolute thriller here tonight. Sam Stewart gets the equalizer. Off the draw. Ball is picked up by Hills. And it's Filardi on the right side. 7 seconds to go. Do they get a shot? Rayo down the slot, down low, score! Cosentino with 1 second on the clock. What a stunning result. Let's look at it again. The clock running down. The feed to Cosentino, and he goes over Sergio. Our scorebox says 3 seconds. There's 1 second showing on the stadium clock. Andrew Cosentino beating the clock with 1 second to go. There will be a face-off at the X, but really no chance here for LuHi after they had tied the game on the Sam Stewart goal. What an unbelievable finish. There's the ensuing face-off, and the game is over, and a huge win for Half Hollow Hills. They improved to 9-5 with a 10-9 win over LuHi here at Caniac Park in Hicksville. And with the loss, LuHi drops to an overall record. They're not in a conference, but an overall record of 9 wins and 6 losses. So that wraps it up here at Caniac Park for our entire crew. Great job by everybody. Michael, Vinny, everyone here as part of the LI Sports Network crew. We thank everybody. For everybody, I'm Peter Schwartz reminding you our final score, Half Hollow Hills 10, LuHi 9. You've been watching Boys High School Lacrosse on the LI Sports Network. Have a great night, everyone.